Ladies and gentlemen, we are firing in 2026. This is Jay, Robin Hood Effect, the Chat with Jay, opinions and views. This is part two, obviously from part one, but this is my friend Alan. I'm going to get your name right, Lazaros. It's the University of Next Level. I wanted to get it wrong because I got another one who does a University of Higher Learning, and it's one of those things, which is a great thing. Mate, thank you so much for coming on board for part two. We had a great part one. We talked about it's just a journey for you, wasn't it? Like I watched the part one again, and it was fantastic. Just the energy was there, but your journey going through what you've done to get to what you're doing, and I just commented on your background. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And you were saying business coach towards what I'm doing now, the casual side thing, is I've got another one coming up. Can you talk about presentation and the way you present yourself? I think what I've seen on YouTube Instagram, with you just working out, you just talking about what you're doing. No, but I find that fantastic because you're actually living the dream. You're living what you say. And I think people have to be authentic in that way. As I said, with what I'm doing at the moment, just rescheduling and redoing things to actually show who I am. So you're not going to say, "Oh, this guy's just putting it on for the show." Well, you and me aren't. Tell us a little about your daily mindset with regards to, I'm working out, but people get up there and go, "Oh, putting workout videos, those garbage," but it's all part of you, isn't it, my friend?
That's exactly it. I think that we all need to figure out what is deeply meaningful to us. And that's where it all needs to come from, I think. I think I lost myself a lot. And in the past, what is the trending and all that? I got to this place in 2025 tail end where I was just like, you know what? I can't post about anything unless it's meaningful. And Kevin and I, my business partner and co-host at Next Level University, he often jokes, he's like, "Dude, you're a business coach. And all I see is fitness videos." And I honestly, well, first of all, there's plenty of business stuff on there, but most of it is fitness because I just live and breathe fitness every day. I love it. It's a part of who I am. It's become a part of who I am. I said 11 years ago, that's where it all started, baby. Fitness coach, fitness competitor, fitness model. Actually, I did 43 photo shoots, fitness modeling.
Oh, really? Did you?
Yeah. Good times and not so good.
That's all right.
It brought me to some. I actually got cast for Love Island at one point. I don't know if you know what that show is.
Oh, I know exactly what it is. That's great.
I didn't do it. So,
all right. Okay.
But it was the only interview I've ever done in my life where being smart was a bad thing. But the authenticity piece and the how you show up in the world. Kevin, you'll see him on our podcast, and you'll see him very casual, and you'll see me dressed the way I am now. And I think that whichever one makes you feel comfortable in your own skin, whichever one you feel is authentic to your identity and who you aspire to be, not just who you are, but who you aspire to be, I think that's what matters. And then I think that as long as you show up in that positive energy of who you really are, and aren't seeking maybe approval, within one caveat though, context. Like if I was in a bathing suit right now, that would be weird because that would not make sense to the context of the episode. But if you're doing a fitness competition and you're on stage, it makes perfect sense to be in a bathing suit, right? In a bodybuilding show, I did men's physique and you're in a bathing suit for that. So context matters, but at the end of the day, you have to show up authentically with what is meaningful to you. So fitness is meaningful to me. Being a professional is meaningful to me. And trust me, I've strayed personal development, professional development, social development, fitness model, fitness competitor, fitness coach, corporate, non-corporate, start my own company, all this different stuff. And eventually you swing the pendulum back and forth, and hopefully you find center of what feels authentic to you now. And so Kevin showed up yesterday in a hat and a t-shirt, and I showed up in my business. And that's the cool thing. And I told him even on the episode, because he made a comment too, and I said, "Be Kevin. I don't want you to be anyone but Kevin Palmieri. I'm Alan Lazaros, you're Kevin Palmieri." And I think that we need to start there, and then the work we do in the world will be more authentic as a byproduct.
I think you're right, because as I said, I come with a couple of different looks. Obviously, this is my casual, obviously pro wrestling freak. I love being, obviously being, the guitars are here because I'm in, tribute shows, the Motley Crue tribute show and Wasp and Pat Benatar and all that. That's part of me. So they can look and go, oh, that's amazing. So I had a few people comment professional wrestling wise, but the thing is, that's exactly what I project. This is authentic to me. Yeah. And I think that's a great thing to do, because at least people know you're real, Alan. I think when you actually say something like you're saying, you go, you should work out 5 days a week. You see the videos, but they actually get a feeling, and an energetical feeling. Would that be fair to say? Like you can feel, go, hang on, this guy's on the money.
I hope so. I think leading by example is everything. I think it's absolutely everything. I think my lights are a little intense right now. Okay. But I grew up where I was looking for a male role model. I didn't have a dad. My dad died when I was 2.
Yep.
Anyone who listened to part 1 probably knows that.
Yep, exactly right.
And I had a stepfather who left at 14. So from 3 to 14, basically my age, not him, obviously. But from 1991 to early 2000s, I had a stepfather, and he left, and I haven't seen him since. And that's all fine. I've talked to him a little bit on Facebook Messenger, and at the end of the day, as I've grown older and older, I'm 37 now, I realize that part of this is me being naive, and part of this is people being poor role models. I looked up to a lot of people that in hindsight I shouldn't have. And that's my truth. And I said, okay, what can I do about that? Be the change you wish to see in the world. What I can do is be the male role model I wish I had. And I think that I don't want to say one thing and do another. If I'm gonna say exercise is important, being in shape is important, getting better every day is important, getting stronger every day is important, then I better be doing that. I better be living it. I think you live it first and then talk about it in that order.
Mate, I agree with you. I did some coaching with JT Fox last year, and I spoke to one of his people, and we were talking about look and all those kind of things, and not to force it. You're exactly saying what I heard. You don't force it, my friend. You just have to understand. If you understand who you are as a professional or as a person, and give that out to the world. Like I might have the pink shirt and the vest for certain things, but also you want to see the other side of me. I'm quite happy. Everyone, long hair, headbands, you go, okay, this guy's into metal and a rock star and all those kind of things, but he's still the same person. So you can actually see that you're not trying to hide who you are as well as a person, as a coach or as a mentor or as someone just giving good advice. You see and I think you see what you give out. Could I ask you on that one? That's a really interesting point about being a man and having support. I find, this would be a very interesting question, the difference between help and true support. I've actually learned that lesson this week. Help is always very well received, and there's gratitude and all that. But true support is what you really need. And I think that's what you're projecting as well, becoming the man that you want to be. Have you had support, like true support? Or do you think it's an interesting question? And the other one I want to put to you in the same thing, I look at motherless and fatherless relationships. Now, what I mean by that is not that they were still there present, but they didn't teach you the boundaries or give you the boundaries, emotional boundaries to be the person that you should be, or give you the foundation to be what we are right now. We had to go out and find it ourselves without any support, if that makes any sense to you. So it's a few questions there, but I'm very interested to hear your views on that.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about that question is this paradox that I'm always up against. And it's, well, if I didn't have the really challenging childhood that I had, I wouldn't be the man I'm proud to be now.
Yep.
And that's such a weird thing, because on one hand, you really should be frustrated that you weren't given the support you needed, you emotionally, mentally, structurally, whatever, but economically.
Yep.
But then on the other side, if, and this is the big if you end up stronger and smarter and more capable as a byproduct of that adversity, then of course it's easy to say that you're grateful for it. But that's a big if, man. Like, I have created a life that I am so genuinely proud of and sincerely fulfilled beyond my wildest dreams in certain regards. I still have a lot of dreams I haven't achieved yet, and I'm still going for them. But there are certain things in my life, my relationship in particular, that is like beyond what I thought was even possible. So I'm very grateful for where I've ended up. And I grew up in an extremely difficult environment. And my therapist, Carol, she said, like, the majority of people that had that upbringing would never be high functioning like you are. And that was interesting because I always thought it was my adversity that like was my advantage, you know, the drive. The drive, the focus, the fucking.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't have that, and they get scared by someone who does have it. But I now realize that I think I actually achieved a lot despite the challenging childhood, not because of it. And so what I would say to answer the support versus help thing, I think that you can be someone who's a leader who gives people the support they need. And sometimes that means not letting them off the hook. I have 25 clients I coach. And I tell them, I said, listen, I'm about to risk our relationship by saying this, but you're better than this. And this is not it for you. And if you want to take the easy road, you can. But the truth is, boom, boom, boom. You didn't hire me to be your friend. You hired me to tell you what I think you're capable of and then help you get there. And quite frankly, you're being lazy. And they usually respond very well to that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be working with them, right? Because I have a very good vetting process at this point. But so that's sometimes the support you want is different than the support you need. And then there's this sort of personal responsibility piece that I always come back to, which is, listen, I couldn't choose that my dad died. I couldn't choose my stepdad left. None of that was my fault, but it is my responsibility. And I think it's my responsibility to make a great life out of something that sucked. And the more and more I work with people all over the world, I have it tracked, 6,741 coaching sessions. That's my one thing, coaching. I do coaching, training, podcasting, but coaching's the main thing. And I track it because I want to do more of it. And the more I do it, and it's success in personal development, really business coaching primarily, but it's also success in career coaching, and not just success in economics, but health, wealth, and love is really the thing. Yeah. And the more I do it, the more I realize that the people who don't take personal responsibility are screwed. Like, if you don't take personal responsibility for your own life, like, honestly, it kind of is partially your fault. Like, no one's going to go to the gym for you. Nobody's going to show up on time for you. Nobody's going to develop grit for you. Nobody's going to plan out your future for you. It's all on you, kind of. Now, what country you're born in, circumstances, family, I get it. Like, some of us are born in terrible circumstances. Some of us are born in great circumstances. But what makes the difference long term is you taking responsibility for your own future. And you're right. Some of us aren't born with gifts. Some of us are born less intelligent. Some of us are born athletically gifted. You know, not everybody's going to be Tom Brady or Serena Williams, but it doesn't change the fact that personal responsibility is where everything starts. And that's sort of a weird conundrum of, yeah, okay, so you're not born with all the gifts. No, you're not born with all the money. No, you're not born with all the support. Well, now what? What are you going to do about it? And I can't not go there because I just think that's the only thing that's really going to help people is like taking back personal responsibility, the ability to respond.
Mate, I was mesmerized by your answer, my friend. I'll tell you that straight out. That was deep, and I think, authentic. I think the main thing is I've only learned, and as I said, it's only the last year, all these massive lessons coming in, especially even in 2026, after you crossed over the gate from 25 to 26, everything changes. Everything has changed. Your attitude to who you are, living an authentic lifestyle, being who you are, finding out who you are. You might, as I said, you might wake up tomorrow morning and go, I might change that background. That's authentic to you. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing, but you're dead right. We can live in a certain situation, but I don't think we're coached or taught enough to actually say, take the responsibility for your heart. It doesn't matter what you do. We're worrying about other people. We're worrying about society. We're worried about what's happening. We're being, as a kid, we're being molded. And it's people like you and me and a lot of other people that are coming on board and waking up to actually get into a point. And this is what I do with the motivational coaching. I just basically get you to a point where you can actually take those opportunities for yourself. And I'm sure that it's exactly what you do. You go, and being blunt is amazing, isn't it? I mean, that's what you get. There's not even being paid for. You're just being a human being saying, listen, you've got the most important things. And here's one for you. 3 things I always say to people: time, peace, and breathing are the 3 most important things in life. That's just me. Oh, he's like,
I love the first one. That's for sure.
Yep.
Time. You're absolutely right.
Absolutely. Yeah. What's your opinion on what's the 3 biggest things for you? So I just say, as I said, breathing. If you can't breathe, you're not going to be, you get up every morning and go, I'm alive today. Peace of mind. Understandable. It helps you. And then time. And as you smiled and said, mate, 8:21 or in over here on the 10th of the 1st is now gone.
Yep.
I think if you think of it that way and put perspective.
And did you invest it? Did you invest it or did you let it just pass? Right. So I love that you started with time. I think we only have 3 resources as humans. I think we have time, effort, and money.
Yep.
And where you invest your time, effort, and money is going to determine where you end up. And trajectory matters more than current position. So I'm Alan version 3.7, and I'm a lot more intelligent and capable than Alan version 2.7, a lot more intelligent and capable than Alan version 1.7, but not as intelligent as capable as I'm going to be at Alan 4.7. And those are decades. And this decade, from 37 to 47, I'm either going to invest it in getting stronger and smarter and more capable, growth, contribution, and quality of life, or I'm going to squander it. And I think that when I got in my car accident at 26, my dad died in a car at 28. That was my mortality moment, the second chance he never got. And I just said, I'm never wasting another minute. It's seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, quarters, years, decades, lifetime, and then beyond your lifetime. And beyond your lifetime is your legacy. And if you go into that and then reverse engineer it, you realize how precious time is. People say be present. I get it, but you got to design the future in advance. You got to. People say it's the journey. I get it, but you got to have a destination. You have to have a destination you choose in advance, aka a goal or a dream that makes the journey worth it, that forces you to embark on an epic journey that gets you outside your comfort zone. So it's all these dualities. That's why life's so hard. It's all these dualities. Is it the journey or the destination? It's both. Is it work smart or work hard? It's both. Is it EQ or IQ? It's both. It's always both. And that's why it's so damn hard as a podcaster to help people transform and change their life, because the optimal decisions are based on your circumstances, your core values, your core goals, your identity, your upbringing. Like what I have to work on and what you have to work on may be similar principles, but it's not the same thing. Certainly not in the same amount. And so I love the time thing. I think that's a great place to start, is like, where are you squandering time? I do this with my clients all the time. I call it hashtag find me minutes. Find me minutes. I have one client, I kid you not. She's like, well, I don't have enough money. I don't make enough money. It's like, that's not the real issue, but let's start there. Okay, awesome. Don't make enough money. Okay, why? Right? Exactly. Well, we found out she's squandering time. you invest your time to earn money, and then you invest the money to buy back time. That's how it's supposed to work. That's why people that are older tend to have more time. And when you're young, you make minimum wage and don't have many skills, typically. So at the end of the day, I had her find me minutes. She's like, there's no more time. I said, that's not true. That's not true. Of course there is, right? We all have the same amount of time. This will potentially blow your mind. When I figured this out, it blew mine anyways. I'm a big math guy, but even this took me by surprise, even though I was a math guy. Yep. 24 hours a day times 7 days a week is 168 hours. If you sleep 8, you still have 112 waking hours. Even if you have a full-time job with 40 hours a week, you still have 72 hours. Every week, 72 hours every week, free, available. Now, it doesn't include showering or commuting. I get it, okay? I get it. But people tell themselves all the time, I don't have the time. I don't have the time. I don't have the time. I've worked coaching people where she literally bought a $50 hairdryer that saves her 10 minutes a day doing her hair. That bought her back 60 hours that year. And you can crunch the numbers. And we actually did this live. 10 minutes a day times 365 days divided by 60 is 61 hours. I said, how much do you make an hour? She said 40. I said, you just bought yourself back $2,500. It's $24.33. And I said, do you think it's worth the $50 blow dryer? That's the way I think. So people say I don't have time to work out. Bullshit. Absolute BS. That's not true. I know it's not true. It's an excuse and it's keeping you safe. And what the truth is underneath that is you don't want to work out. Why? Because you're afraid of something. I get it. But let's not BS ourselves. And if I told you have 168 hours a week, we all do. And if you sleep 8, you still have 112. And then if you still have a full-time job, you still have 72 left. Now tell me you don't have time to work out. So it's the math, man. I love the math.
That is nice. That just, it makes absolute sense. Like, and I think one thing that I learned about scheduling and focus on scheduling, I think you're big on that too. And that's one thing I'm going to, as one of my goals for the year is to make sure I focus. And because you get distracted, it's not even getting distracted with irrelevant things. You're excited about, podcasting, about doing a journal entry. All right. Things happen. As I said, people are a lot different because of the fact things come into my head and I've got to write them down straight away. Or I've had the theory that I better do it now because I'll forget. And that's just whether it be a mechanism, but I get it done. But it's like a bit wishy-washy. My thing is now to either write it down and get it done when I'll get it done on the day. If I don't get it done today because of things happen, as I said, what happened yesterday, let's put it tomorrow. And I think the big thing is not to stress. Alan, what do you think? What do you think about that? I mean, if you are focused, and a lot of people are out there, and you've got a lot of people, and they do, and I think the big thing is if you beat yourself up that you haven't done it, that's a really good sign, isn't it? Because you're really focused on what you want to do.
It depends on your relationship with self-talk. So one of the things that I think has been fascinating is I have these 3 sort of, and again, this is just my framework, but it's built on internal family systems. If you've ever studied that, or cognitive behavioral therapy, you can call it a core wound, a core limiting belief. There's 3 that when I coach someone, I size up. We all have a code. So it's 1, 2, 3. It's a triangle. Defective, unlovable, unwanted are the labels that I picked. And they represent a core wound or a core limiting belief that we all have. Mine is a 2, 3, 1. So that's my code. But, and at some point I'm going to write a book about this as like sort of its own personality test type of thing. But at the end of the day, to bring it to all the listeners here in a simple way, the 3 limiting beliefs are: defective means all of me is not enough. That's deep down, not conscious. I'm talking subconscious, unconscious. So no one walks around, I'm not enough, but they feel it inside.
Yep.
Okay? That's not mine, which is why people who have that one have a hard time with me. Mine is number 2, all of me is too much. Too driven, too focused. Like most people I'm not the fun guy at the barbecue. Put it that way, right?
That's a really good one. That is a really, really good analogy. And I'm sorry to interrupt you there, because I resonate with that a fair bit, because especially the last year, I'm always driven. I was sort of going away, but you go out and all you're thinking about is, right, I've got to do this. Book's got to be done. Mate, I get it. Mate, I get it. I get it. Sorry to interrupt.
And I used to be fun at a barbecue, but that was when I wasn't aligned.
Keyword.
Yeah, I wasn't aligned. So the triad is defective, unlovable, unwanted. So the first core wound is all of me is not enough. That's majority of the population from my understanding. A small percentage of us have all of me is too much, meaning I have to dim myself constantly, otherwise I'm not going to fit in. And then the third one is all of me does not belong. And these are people who are always drifting around sort of on their own islands. Typically the defectives puff up socially to try to pretend they're confident when they're not, but behind the scenes they struggle.
Yep. The
unlovables, they dim down and they shell up in social situations. And then when they're behind the scenes, they're beasts. And then the unwanteds are typically like watching the first two hurt each other, and they're like, I'm out, I'm opting out, I'm not interested. And so they just feel very lonely, internally lonely, because they're kind of on their own island. They're the misfit toys is what I call them. And that's okay. Like, we're all either, and this is the thing, there's the social world and the real world. If you don't understand the difference, it's hard to understand. So in the social world, I have a hard time being intense and dialed in because it's much less common. Tom Brady's a good example. Serena Williams, Tom Brady, Michael Phelps, these people are like freaks. They're not fun at barbecues. They're so dialed in. Most people are like, you're out of your mind. They call them crazy, right? So the people that are the best on planet Earth at what they do are called crazy, when in reality, they're just wired differently. So I don't want to go to a barbecue. I don't want to like chill and hang out. That's not how I'm wired. I want to drive every day, always toward my goals and dreams. But it makes lazy people insecure. So the defectives feel like they belong because they're at the center of the bell curve. They tend to be more average, so they easily belong. They feel very lovable and belonging, but they feel very insecure about their significance. They don't feel significant because the center of the bell curve is belonging, not significance. Right. The Tom Brady's, Michael Phelps, and Serena Williams of the world feel a ton of significance, but zero belonging because there's very few of them, right? Very few people can get them. Kobe Bryant would be another example. R.I.P. So, and then the third is the people who, these people I think I've found they struggle with long-term commitment. They want to do everything, so they never go all in on any one thing. That's what I've found. And so back to your original point with the record playing, self-talk, it depends on yourself. If your subconscious record is you're not enough, the last thing you need is someone giving you tough love, like you suck, get your ass on the court. That works for me. Like if you challenge me, that ignites me. That does not work for everybody. So if your subconscious is you're not enough, you actually need positive reinforcement. You need people to say, you got this, you can do it. That doesn't work for me at all. It's like, of course, right? That's not it. So if you go to Tom Brady, like, you can do it, he's gonna be like, shut up. Of course I can. Get out of here. But if you challenge him, it's gonna ignite him, right? And so we all have these records playing in the back of our head, subconsciously and unconsciously. If your record playing is I'm too much, you're gonna dim down socially and then be behind the scenes, you're gonna be a beast. If it's I'm not enough, you're going to puff up socially and then behind the scenes struggle. And if it's I don't belong, you're going to stay on your own island because you're afraid to get hurt. And I think that what I do when I coach people is I figure out what's your code and then I work on that with you. So the defective I'm not enough code tends to dislike me very strongly. And the reason why is because I am very, very high on the other one, the too much. So the not enoughers hate the too muchers. Yeah. And the unwanteds are basically like, yo, you're hurting each other constantly. I'm out. They opt out. And so once you know your code, though, you can really start to motivate yourself properly. And so people think I'm way too hard on myself, but what they don't realize is that actually works for me. That doesn't work for everyone, right?
Mate, I'm blown away because I resonate with that so much, and the way you've put it, and I'm so blessed to have you on this podcast, my friend. I'm just sitting there. I really am, and I always believe, and just my belief is things are meant to happen for a reason. I think that question and answering is huge in what we're doing right now. And you're a stellar individual. I talk about you a fair bit, actually, to be perfect. Alan,
thank
from
you, Jay. Thank you so much.
Oh no, and I think the big thing is also we look at an authenticity and a safe, trusted space. That's what my big thing is. And I say, look, I might be. Everyone says I'm the hype man. I'm the big hype man, right? But if you knew my story, I use that hype to cover up what I was hiding inside me until I actually had to face it. So now I can use the hype to help people, motivate people.
Yeah.
So it makes what you're saying with the focused, unfocused. Even when I go out, I might, playing bands and stuff like that. Go, it's this rock star lifestyle.
Yeah.
But I can tell you right now, I'm the quietest guy there when I get out. And the thing is, I'm quiet, but I'm always mingling, making connections and friends. I know my business mind is going, branding, right? What are we going to do to get better? What are we going to do to get better? What are we going to do to get better?
Which one did you resonate with, those core wounds? Because I could have you pegged wrong.
Too much.
Yeah, good.
100%. I'm you. 100% I'm you. Yep. I'm 100%.
So you dialed down in social situations.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And the thing is, they might, and this is where we talk about personality types as well. And we've got about 43 or 4 minutes left with this interview, my friend. I'm going to get you back in 6 months. But it's a case of I can go and be happy and be the person that you need to be. But I need to step back myself, and being too much and focus me. I am a massive introvert. My partner in Divine Journey, she's the same, Sarah. We're both massive introverts, but it looks like we give the impression that we're the rock stars, which we are. Don't get me wrong. We love going out there. Don't get me wrong. But as you said, knowing where your boundaries is amazing, man.
One is social and one is true self, and I think that's okay, right? Some people are, like you said, introvert. That doesn't mean that 20% of the time you're not extroverted as hell.
That's exactly right. Yes.
But internally you still like being alone. And I'm that way too. I actually have felt, and I've flip-flopped back and forth over time as I found myself, the pendulum swinging as you get older. And I think that as you get older, you still swing the pendulum, you just don't swing it as far. Yep. As you try to get to know yourself. At least hopefully you're not swinging it as far. I used to swing for the fences on, that sucked. So let me try the complete polar opposite extreme.
Want to do a big shout out to our friends and supporters at Liberty Bullion. Sammy and the team are the best gold, silver and platinum traders in Australia. Make good choices. Give them a call. Back to the show.
But for everyone out there watching or listening, who you are when no one's watching is who you really are. Who you really are is who you are when you're alone. And that's when you're not influenced by your protectors to socially belong. And I think that Maslow's hierarchy of needs misses belonging. I got to give my beautiful girlfriend and future wife credit for that. She has belonging theory. I think that we are so optimized for belonging. All of us as human beings deeply crave belonging. And if you take away the need for belonging and the social world, your Instagram, your Facebook, your podcast, everything in the social world, and you're just who you are when you're alone by yourself, that I think is your truest version of yourself. And I hope that all of us build from that place rather than try to live this other life over here. And I definitely did that. So for me, prior to 26 in that car accident, last piece, I lost myself, high school friends to college friends to corporate. I was, at every barbecue, 12 fraternities on campus, 5 sororities. I was popular, quote unquote, but I lost myself in that. And after the car accident, I really went inward first And I made sure, so there's two types of self-improvement, last piece. Self-improvement can be, I don't like who I am, so I'm going to try to be different than who I am. That I think is ignorant. And that's where I started, for sure.
Yeah.
And eventually a wiser approach is, okay, I'm going to uncover who I actually am. And then I'm going to become a better version of that. And I think that that's the more virtuous approach and the more intelligent approach. Because I think a lot of us are trying to be different than we are instead of figuring out who we are and like learning to love and accept that and then grow from that place.
Mate, on that note, we're just about done with this part 2. We've got a couple of minutes left, but mate, where can they find you? First of all, thank you so much. You're a stellar, beautiful individual, my friend. Thank you so much for your knowledge, what you're doing for the community. And, there's been a few hiccups we've had, but I just want to say thank you for who you are, mate. That's all I want to say. That's it. And where can they find you, my friend?
Jay, it's a pleasure. Thank you. You've been very gracious as well, because I know we messed up scheduling this a few times.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it was you, then me. I don't care. At the end of the day, we made it happen, so I'm grateful. Gratitude to you. If anyone is curious about me and my work, Next Level University podcast, we do an episode every day. It's success and personal development in your pocket from anywhere on the planet every single day, completely free. That is Next Level University. That's our tagline, and it rhymes on purpose. And if you resonate with me, that, a mentor in your pocket every single day, a coach in your pocket every day, helping you be the best version of yourself, not Next Level Kevin, not Next Level Alan, Next Level you.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, Next Level University, Alan Lazaros, thank you so much for being on a chat with Jay. Opinions and views and authentic, safe, trusted space. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. It's been really a big 2026, and I'm just grateful to meet these great people, my friends. That's why I do what I do, and I learned so much, notes and everything. But be your authentic self. If that's the last thing we say, be your authentic self. If you need help, we can tag out pro wrestling style, as we say. As I said, be your authentic self. Yeah, I'm a so-called rock. They call me the so-called rock star, but in here, I just want to help people just like this great individual here, Alan. Thank you so much, Alan. Take care of yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. You want to be a guest on a chat with Jay, give me an email, whitewarriorhealth@gmail.com. Look forward to seeing you on the next episode of a chat with Jay. Thank you so much, Alan. Very gracious to have you on this show. Thank you so much for your time.
It was a very bad energy day. Couldn't sleep. Could feel the cortisol going through my body due to the stresses I've been under, the worry. So much to do, not concentrating, not focusing. Worry about everyone else's bloody problems. But it's scary to step back, but it's scary to get back into that old mindset. But you're aware of it, and you can feel it. You can feel the cortisol in that arm, the left arm. Reassessing life. I think what you got to do is just switch off. I think it's got to take trust to switch off. I ask the universe right now, should I switch off? And they go, yes. Everything will come, don't force. And the clarity will come when you go through the clouds.